the workbook of A Course in Miracles. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Remember now, in this second half of these first 50 lessons, we're going to spend the rest of the lessons in experiencing this other way of looking, having letting go of our attack thoughts, seeing that our experience is a function of that and only that, then that letting go, we can let God be what we perceive and understand. Um, so God is in everything I see. The Course is pretty uh, free in allowing us to have whatever sense we think of God. If we think of God with some form or as formless, think of it as truth or love, whatever, whatever way we understand God is perfectly okay in the Course. So the idea for today is the springboard for vision, this new way of seeing. And from this idea will the world open up before you, and you will look upon it and see in it what you've never seen before, nor will what you saw before be even visible to you. So what we saw before was seeing the world outside of us from an egoic standpoint, from our attack thoughts. And that's what has shown, that's what seems to be our reality coming from that. But now we're seeing through our loving thoughts that are inside of us, and that's what real seeing is. And so the it this last sentence is, nor will you see what you saw before even faintly visible to you. So this entirely replaces that ego perspective and those attack thoughts. So it goes on to say, today we're trying to use a new kind of projection. These attack thoughts in our minds are painful, and so we projected them out into the world, and it seemed to be the world that was causing us pain. And in here, and in this lesson too, remember, it doesn't just mean the outside world of time and space. It also means our inner world. They're both a projection from our attack thoughts. So one principle in the Course is the Holy Spirit has to use all of our defenses that keeps us from love as ways to bring us back, and projection was the way we did this. So now Holy Spirit's going to use that projection. And here's the crucial difference between this way of seeing, uh, stated in this paragraph. We're trying to join with what is out there rather than trying to keep it separate from us. So we're not attempting to get rid of what we do not like by seeing it outside. Instead, we're trying to see in the world what is in our minds and what we want to recognize is there. So if you remember the Course 3-step we had back in first lessons on attack, is that we first have to identify the true cause of our problem, our internal attack thoughts. Then we have to be willing to let them go. And having done that, that needs our cooperation. But having done that, those images, that way of seeing has already been replaced in the Course. That's the Course's view of time, is that everything has happened all at once. So these mistakes in seeing have been corrected already, and it's already there as long as we're willing to let go as long as we're willing to identify the cause as the internal attack thoughts. And when we're willing to let it go, then vision will be given us. So thus we're trying to join with what we see rather than keeping it apart from us. That is the fundamental difference between vision and the way you see. So this is the training that we're getting to be a teacher of God, to be a miracle worker, that we can give to everything. We can give it love instead of our egoic thoughts. We can give it God. So today's idea should be applied as often as possible throughout the day. This is an attempt based upon our understanding of the value in this new way of seeing. So whenever you have a moment or so, repeat it to yourself slowly, looking about you, trying to realize that the idea applies to everything you do see now or could see now if it were within your range. So that's key here. Real vision is not limited to concepts such as near or far. To help you begin to get used to this idea, try to think of things beyond your present range as well as those you can actually see. So you may be in your office or some other place, but you can think of something at home or someone who's not in your presence. Anything that's not in your presence, you can apply it to that too. That's That's a property of real vision. So real vision is not only limited, not is not only unlimited by space and time, but it doesn't depend upon the body's eyes at all. And this includes time, so it can be applied to anything. Anything in the past, anyone in the past, any event, whatever comes up in your mind, this idea can be applied to it. So the mind is its only source. To aid in helping you to become more accustomed to this idea as well, devote several practice periods to applying today's idea with your eyes closed, using whatever subjects come to mind and looking within rather than without. Today's idea applies to both of them. So this idea applies to both our outer and inner worlds, replacing these attack thoughts. So we're trying to join with, rather than pushing away, if painful thoughts come up, for instance, rather than trying to push them away, we'll join with them and project upon them God or love or whatever. So we use both these practices. Whatever's present within us in space, whatever we think of that's in space that's not immediately present to us, and anything in within our internal world, we're trying to give God to all of those tries. Try to see God in that. And try to see love in that. So today's idea applies equally to both. So that's it for this lesson. Thank you.